Hello everybody, and welcome to my channel. This time I thought I would talk about the real core teachings of the Watchtower. And ironically enough, they don't actually have to do with doctrine. So I'll just get right into it. The number one core teaching of the Watchtower is that there is no salvation without the Watchtower. The teaching here is that the governing body is used by Jehovah to direct the work of his people on earth. Jehovah's Witnesses are taught to be the only people that Jehovah God uses, his only chosen people, and the only people who are serving him in a way that is acceptable to him. Because of this, you must show loyalty to the Watchtower. Loyalty is shown by doing things for the Watchtower, such as going to the meetings, reading the literature, participating in the meetings, publishing their message, meaning preaching, working on their property, and basically spending your time to increase Watchtower assets. The more time you spend working for the Watchtower, the more loyal you are to them. Loyalty in this case, though, only goes one way. The Watchtower is not loyal to anybody but the Watchtower, and the Watchtower expects you to be loyal to the Watchtower. If something comes up where you suddenly find yourself in a place where you have a matter of disagreement with the Watchtower, you will find that Watchtower is not loyal to you at all. In fact, they will throw you under the bus so fast, you'll be surprised. So the effect of this teaching, that there's no salvation without Watchtower, results in treating the governing body as if they are inspired. So this is the true core teaching of the Watchtower, that there is no salvation without the Watchtower. They are the only acceptable method which to serve Jehovah. So the way that they establish their doctrine, the next core teaching, is that they analyze the Bible in a way that allows them to cherry-pick verses and string them together to teach whatever they want. This method of teaching directly contradicts, or is directly contradicted by, 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 20 and 21. And this method of Bible analysis is called night jump exegesis. That means you cherry-pick scriptures, or you pick them from here, there, and everywhere, and you read things into them. You string together a bunch of unrelated scriptures to form a teaching. Some results of this type of analysis are the blood doctrine, forcing Jehovah's Witnesses to refuse blood transfusions. The two-witness rule, whereby if a child is abused, their claims of abuse are not believed unless a second witness can verify their claims. And also the shunning policy, the policy by which when people break the rules, they get disfellowshipped and nobody is allowed to talk to them. These doctrines are all part of analysis that's called night jump exegesis. These are all things that the Watchtower has read into the Bible. This is how they form their doctrine. So the way the Watchtower enforces its authority, which this is the third core teaching, if you will, of the Watchtower, they enforce their authority through fear, guilt, and shame. But this is undergirded with love bombing. So the way this process works is love bombing has to come first. And in fact, it does with indoctrination. So indoctrination starts during the recruiting process, and recruiting is done deceptively. During the recruiting process, when a Jehovah's Witness knocks on your door, they'll tell you about the paradise and how God's going to solve your problems soon. But what they won't tell you is that the only way for you to get that reward is to become one of Jehovah's Witnesses. That the reason they're at your door is to try to convert you to one of Jehovah's Witnesses. And that once you become one of Jehovah's Witnesses, if you don't follow the rules, they will kick you out, and all of your Jehovah's Witnesses friends will no longer talk to you. So that's called deceptive recruiting, and that's part of the indoctrination strategy. Indoctrination truly begins during the Bible study process. So Jehovah's Witnesses call it a Bible study, but in fact what they do is they study Watchtower literature, which analyzes the Bible through the use of night jump exegesis. So basically, their Bible study really is not a Bible study, but it's a study of how to cherry-pick verses to teach what they say. And that's reinforced through repetition, oversimplification, and love bombing. This is why Jehovah's Witnesses want their Bible studies to get to the Kingdom Hall as soon as possible, because people at the Kingdom Hall are taught to love bomb new individuals to get them to join the organization. The more an individual does for the organization, the more they get love bombed. This is especially true early on. But the foundation is already laid for the fear and guilt and shame. The fear is that Armageddon is coming really soon. Armageddon is always perpetually around the corner. And essentially, if you are not one of Jehovah's Witnesses, you will be destroyed during Armageddon and lose out on your chance for everlasting life in paradise on earth. So that's the fear part. The guilt part is that you can always do more for Jehovah. Every meeting, every publication, every assembly, every convention, they're asking, why can't you do more for Jehovah? Then they present you examples of people who have massive challenges in their life, but nonetheless, they're still pioneering. They're still spending 70 hours a month in field service. The obvious question is, if this person can do this with all their circumstances, why can't you do it in yours? That's the guilt. You can never do enough for them. There's always guilt there. And shame is a heavy motivator. Shame is all throughout the group. Any individual who dissents with the group in any way, shape, or form gets shamed. If members will even shame each other. If members are not doing enough spiritual activities, they are considered to be not good association, and therefore not candidates for association. So the less you toe the line, the more you will get shamed, to the point where if you break the rules, you can get shamed by being reproved or disfellowshipped. People who are reproved will find out that very few in the congregation will want to associate with them, and they have to endure this shame until they have established once again that they are in good standing with the congregation. Someone who is disfellowshipped is completely cut off from conversations with those in the congregation, including, for the most part, their own family members. Family members are constantly admonished to minimize association with disfellowshipped persons. There are even videos showing parents not picking up the phones when their disfellowshipped children call. So, all members of the congregation see the level of shame they will have to endure if they don't follow the rules. And furthermore, this disfellowshipped person is shamed by being forced to come to the meetings for extended periods of time where people treat them as if they don't exist. Until finally, once they've proven they're repentant, after perhaps months or a year or even more of this type of dehumanizing treatment, they're finally allowed back in. So this is the way the Watchtower enforces their authority: fear, guilt, and shame, undergirded with love bombing. So the real message here is the fourth main point I want to make, is that doctrine is secondary to the actual core tenets of the Watchtower. This is why doctrine can change so radically and so frequently without waking up Jehovah's Witnesses. The doctrine is not the most important thing that they teach. The most important thing is, one, there is no salvation without the Watchtower. And they construct their doctrines by analyzing the Bible, by cherry-picking verses and stringing them together to teach whatever they want. Then they enforce their authority through fear, guilt, and shame in conjunction with love bombing. So those truly are the core teachings of the Watchtower, not the doctrine. Anyways, that's my video for this time. Thanks for watching.